basically saving and making sure that they're.
And yet here we go again.
Outposts.
So we have to supposedly resecure all these 3 bases that were attacked, and Emerald is immediately back on the offensive again. They have a large traverse, and they have a force that is still fighting at Waterson's Redemption. And I'm waiting for them to send another squad back to Max's to try and again.
I think very interestingly, the Emerald forces have consistently pulled Liberators, and the Cobalt forces have pulled 0 Liberators. It's a very interesting contrast.
There's a lot of Sunders on this bridge. I mean, it is just a battle fortress of anti-air.
This is a substantial force on the bridge that, again, you have a tech plant. If there's one place that you probably want to go pull tanks for, this is probably it. I said I was waiting for that squad to get back to Triumph. I think they're there.
I'm watching a skill PP at the moment being a nuisance. Oh, it's just decimated this squad.
The Cobalt Air Forces have left the south and left that to the Emerald Air Force, and the Cobalt Air Force is currently flying around the Traverse and Ace Attack Plant. Yeah, Traverse is going to be secured by the Cobalt Air Force, trying to take out all these Sunders.
Cobalt's trying to blunt force their way through. Oh, what a harasser drive right there!
Ice of Mountain Pass, again, they left too early. They left too early, and they came right back and got back onto the point. I'm heading over there now. 26 seconds. And there is not enough ground forces pushing from Cobalt at this time.
Emerald's got to take this at some point. The Air Forces, they're trying to help out, but obviously they can't shoot in the 3-story building.
This is actually going really, really well for Emerald at the Traverse. They still hold the point, and it's getting that poor harasser near finally dies. In fact, it's getting to the critical point now that...
Oh, Cobalt was just 1 second too late this time at Ace of Mountain Pass.
That's what happens with this constant resecure with a lot of people, is they got here, they were just too late. So they have now lost Ice of Mountain Pass, and now they have to turn a defense into an offense. They now have to do a point hold when they didn't plan on doing it. And if their air doesn't stick around to help bomb these guys who are going to be charging out with maxes, I don't think this is going to last very long.
And the Traverse capture still being held by very tenaciously by Emerald.
Traverse is still going for Emerald?
Yep.
That's a very good effort. It's a very open bridge from both sides. How are they doing that?
That's a good question, but they're holding one of the banks with Sunders and harassers, and they're just being a nuisance.
Oh yeah, they've got 4 or 5 engineers repairing the Sunder.
Freyr Substation is also capping in Emerald's favor.
There go the Sunders.
You know, it seems like Cobalt has some fatigue of having to deal with this over and over and over again. They spent a good hour and a half, 15 minutes being able to resecure and attack at the same time, and it gets slower and slower and slower the more you do it. And here they've lost Mountain Pass. Freyr Substation is in a great deal of danger right now. We'll see if they can get it back. And Traverse is in a great deal of danger right now.
Traverse is secured.
Barely.
Oh
wait, no, it's back under control. 3 seconds to go. They've lost control of the capture point, and oh my god, Emerald takes the Traverse. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. Extra last-second reinforcement with must have been res grenades or whatnot, but they've taken the Traverse. Emerald, that was amazing.
Attack. They only held the bridge. They could be attacked from both sides and the air, and they still took it. That's amazing.
I think that was Goon Squad, but still. Okay, though that means that they're pushing their lead now, 51 to 43. We're talking about a 3 or 4 base flip now. It's slowly falling out of Cobalt's hands with 38 minutes to go.
Cobalt forces at the traverse cannot even keep the base because they lost connection. Although Madsen's Triumph is being secured at the moment.
Yeah, but they need all
They've
3
never-
capture
they've
points.
never
Should go.
gotten-
Yeah.
They have not had Matherson's Triumph resecured to 0 in at least a half an hour. So this will be the first time that that's happened in about a half an hour to get it. That means they can attack Rhyme, and they better start moving there because it's one of the few places they have
got
that's a weak part. I would take the forces. They have forces attacking Ice Mountain Pass. I'd forget Ice Mountain Pass right now. Try and get some people on Rhyme. Start that ticking down. It'll at least protect Matherson's Triumph for a while, and worry about Ice Mountain Pass later. The tech plant can be a pop sink. If
Well,
Emerald
yeah.
wanted to attack, let them attack and come back and kick them off later. You gotta start going after small bases.
They have to get their hands on the Traverse again. And I'd like to see an attack, even if it's just one squad at Rhyme Analytics, just forcing the issue, doing counter pressure.
I wonder why
Emerald
the
does
Emerald
not seem
Air
to
is
be-
now.
Emeralds does not seem to be hurting for resources. There are, I believe, more maxes than people that just resecured Southern Reach. And they seem to do that quite a bit. Actually, both sides seem to do it quite a bit of being able to still pull those things and spam grenades. So even though we're getting kind of late in the game, it's not happening yet.
Cobalt just did what you said someone would do. They had a Valkyrie at fight ceiling with squad spawning into them at Emir South.
And even though they had resecured it, Prayer Substation is going back in favor of Emerald again. I think this is just fatigue. It's just something where, you know, as a squad you can do it 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times, but when it gets up to the 10th time that you go back and have to pull a max and run the same way and get killed the same stairwell by the same grenades, you know, you're just slower every single time you do it. And it's going to tick down here. I mean, they managed to resecure, but you have to get these bases down to 0, and it's proving very difficult to get these bases back to 0 for Cobalt.
Emerald is trying to get Freyr Substation, and they're within 30 seconds. Cobalt is doing the darndest thing they can with just pushing in again and again and again, but they simply can't dislodge this Emerald force in the capture point with all the grenades. And the Air Force has turned up for Cobalt now, but with 20 seconds to go, I don't see any ground forces. Alright, nope, never mind, there they are. Is that a final save? There you go, a save in the absolute last moment. Oh wait, what's going on here? Again, this is like the Traverse. With 5 seconds to go, there's not enough of Cobalt on the capture point. 2 seconds. Jeez. One res grenade and everyone jumping up at the same time is all it takes. Everyone is a party on the capture point and everybody's invited. Hug. Okay, it's now finally capture points in the hand of Cobalt. That is insane, the amount of dead bodies. Res grenades just picks up your entire team and then you get population control for the brief point around that capture point. Finally, I think, yes, no, yes. Finally, Cobalt makes a save. Maybe. It's still going on. There's still a constant stream this capture point, and the point is flipping again. The medics running in from the Vanu for the Emerald, doing reses, and more res grenades going off. This is insane. And the fact is, there's no Cobalt Air Force to pick off some of the Sunders, which you can see in the minimap. So it's still not guaranteed. Either team could take this, but Cobalt had the point. But the problem is, it's within that 30-40 second window. Cobalt can't let up.
While this is going on, Waterston's Redemption is down to 225. And Emerald is about to push into the A point and take.
And Emerald's actually got a few Zephyr Liberators overhead, so this is where the Liberators come in handy because they can ground pound more effectively than a single Reaver or Scythe.
A is flipping. I'm going to wait to see how quickly that moves it down because this is an incredible danger spot for Cobalt at this moment. You cannot lose this base. This is such a great defensible base for you. Under a minute, 54 seconds left on Redemption.
Yeah, and no NC Air Force, no Cobalt Air Force inside.
I have the camera wiggle. If I redeploy and get a new camera, will it stop that?
Just jump out and jump in.
Oh, okay.
Cobalt is pushing all the points at the moment.
I mean, they're still aggressively trying to take back Freyr substation.
All
It's
points
just
are being
going on.
flipped. And Emerald's only got one Sunder up as far as I can see, and it's being assaulted at the moment by a anti-vehicle max and the deployed Cobalt Sunder.
There is a force from Cobalt at Rime Analytics at the moment. They have a Sunder. There is some Emerald Air above them. This is the first time I've seen Emerald Air.
Where are they?
Really this is at Rime Analytics. They have a couple Liberators and several sites that are trying. Oh, they just took out that Sunder. So this is now a point hold without a Sunder for Cobalt at Rime again.
Cobalt Air just went towards its redemption, but it's already been secured by the Cobalt ground forces.
Finally, Cobalt secures Freyr substation, even though the base was going on to 1 minute until finally saved.
Sides just flew into that Liberator.
What's going on at the bulwark?
Yeah, the Cobalt Air is coming to Rime Analytics now. They're gonna clear out those few Emerald Air forces. Although the point is just lost.
Emerald just did a massive charge onto the point and wiped out.
Yeah, see, the Rime Analytics is one of those bases where if you can afford to keep your Air Force en masse over Rime Analytics, it's extremely powerful in terms of suppressing.
And this is what I don't understand. You see 2 or 3 squads of Reavers, and there were 2, maybe 3 sites in the air, and all of the 3 squads of Reavers went after those 3 sites instead of a squad or 2 of the Reavers starting to ground pound at the base.
Yeah, and now they're ground pounding,
Now
but
they're doing it,
for
but
what
it's too late.
purpose? There's nobody there on the point, unless they decide they're going to bring in reinforcements to drop and then they're softening up, fair enough. You see the tech plants now start to tick. The bulwark is still ticking. What's going on at the bulwark, Redland?
I am poking down here right now. There seems to be a bunch of... Oh, there are some libs and suds for Emerald doing spawn contain, and there does not seem to be enough Emerald people trying to charge into the powerhouse building to get up those stairs at the moment. There's a firing line of engineer turrets on the top of the stairs, and then actually on the bottom of the stairs too.
Cobalt is taking back the point at Rime Analytics. And they
So
do
long as they
now
keep
have
their Air
air-to-ground
Force.
support. Yeah, they do have the air-to-ground support at the moment. Although the Reavers seem to be flying into each other quite a lot. More galaxies are dropping in.
Well, 30 minutes left to go in this fight. It's pretty darn important to get Rime Analytics. If they're ever going to do it with air support, now's the time to do it on this base.
Yeah. And then
90
they need to go back to
seconds
ASA.
90 seconds left on the bulwark, and there is not a push here from.
Is there an Emerald air support at the Bulwark?
There was. I'm trying.
Couple
to see
Zephyr libs, I'm guessing.
They moved on to. They're actually being taken out by some Emerald Air off toward.
Cobalt Air.
I'm sorry, Cobalt Air off toward the Biolab.
Interesting.
This is
The main
painful for
Cobalt
Cobalt.
Air Force is still at
Game
Rime.
wrap, 30 minutes until match end. 30 minutes until match end.
A little bit quick, maybe tell him to refresh his page. But the fact is, this is painful because Emerald has got it kind of easy that Cobalt's making the play. They're deciding to attack a particular base, and Emerald's like, well, that's fine. If you're attacking one base, we'll attack 4, and we'll get 1 for free. And they're going to get Bulwark. Oh, the numbers are increasing, but on 30 seconds to go, I'm going to have a quick look at Bulwark. I don't think they can make the save, though. They just simply don't have the numbers, because they're all committed currently at Rime Analytics. Oh, not a chance. Not a chance. There's just so many maxes inside of the capture point, and a metric ton of engineer turrets just being a nuisance.
Emerald's got forces set up inside the tech plant, but since the vehicle terminals had been destroyed, there are no PPA harassers or anything on the point, so it's just some ground forces there.
Now this is interesting. I assume Cobalt's trying to use that as a population sink specifically to get Rime. And
Yes.
it's 42 seconds away from.
Oh, last second flip! Last second flip of Bulwark! Literally the last second, and they run in. I did not believe that would happen. Absolute last second, they ran in with all their forces and make a save. This could be absolutely game crucial. With 30 minutes to go, this would have been just soul destroying. And the fact is, res grenades, they need to stay on the point! Stay on the point! What are you doing? Don't run away from the point with these res grenades going off.
Big push at Rime is a understatement.
Yep.
This might be the entirety of the Emerald forces here.
And the point is, there is no Reaver in sight. There is no Reaver in sight at all.
My
So
mini
you
map
look- you
could
look-
not render everyone.
Yeah, look at this, more than a platoon of infantry running around outside on the platform, and there are no Reavers in sight. Where's the Cobalt Air Force?
I have to admit, if I were a Cobalt guy inside that point, that would have been an utterly terrifying sight.
How many kills would you get if you threw a C4 at the window?
Where did the Cobalt Air Force go then? At that point, that
And
is
Freyr's
very strange.
substation is about to cap in favor of Emerald. 20 seconds away. Also 3 minutes down for Ice and Tech Plant. So, and it looks like Cobalt's going back to that. I'm heading over to substation.
And this is the thing that oh, Freyr substation, you're right, it's going to go through. So all this pressure being applied by Emerald, and although Cobalt's making these very last moment saves, oh my goodness, is that the point flipping again?
Last second.
Oh, but there's too many VS coming in fresh. Oh wait, no, there's no fresh reinforcements for Cobalt. I see more blue than I see purple. Jeez, this is
Calling
super
for
close.
resonate in proxy chat.
Now the Tech Plant was reinforced by Cobalt and then immediately reinforced by Emerald, which is, I'm sure, something that they were waiting for. They were waiting to send extra people to it. It looks like Cobalt is trying to get on the point here at the Tech Plant. They have the inside. Yes, Emerald is now trapped on the outside. However, they have primed the SCU gen. Emerald is playing this the other way. Emerald has said, you know what, you can have the point. We don't want the point. They have gone to a massive point hold on the SCU.
Remember, that's what Connor did to Miller
Capture
yesterday.
point at Freyr
And
substation.
The thing is, yeah, the Cobalt forces can just set up spawn sunders outside the SCU and push them off. If they don't have the point, they will not be able to take it.
So what is an Cobalt's air or Emerald's air, or is it even playing air at this point of the game?
Emerald, yeah, they at the moment the Cobalt air seems to be scattered around the center area. I don't see their big air blob at the moment.
So Cobalt makes a proper save, finally pushes off the attackers from Freyr substation. That's it done. Their next attack currently for Cobalt is at Echo Valley substation. That's their main attack. The problem with that is that the run time from the spawn room to the capture building is very, very short, and it's kind of difficult for Air Force, just this large pipe, to get in without being bombarded by air. And the other problem is that the Cobalt forces are staying on the upper ground, which you think normally is fine, but with the way grenades go, you can just throw your grenades into one point and that's it. And there are counter grenades coming out from the Cobalt forces, but it's far too early to use all your consumables with 2.5 minutes to go. You want to try and keep your consumables really for that crunch 30-second final push.
The SCU is dead at the Tech Plant.
And they're getting the point.
The Cobalt people were killed off. They did not put a Sunderer up, and now Emerald has the point again with the SCU destroyed and 3 minutes 20 seconds left.
And this is where the Cobalt Air Force is at the moment, trying to take out all the spawn points from the VS. The vehicle
Cobalt
terminals
has no
are down.
choice, but yeah, Cobalt has no choice but to gal drop their own Tech Plant at this point.
Yes.
And there
Hold
is
on. The VS, the Emerald forces have the vehicle spawn point at the SCU, so they could spawn Sunders there, although they're obviously being hounded by the Air Force.
The jet
Cobalt
is
has
down as
reinforced Echo Valley substation. Oh man,
This is incredibly dangerous for Cobalt right now. They need to get forces back to this Tech Plant.
Yeah, they're pulling Sunders now. They're not surviving very long, although they're trying to get one inside.
And already there are some presents being pulled from that vehicle terminal to meet them up on the point. There are going to be some very nasty surprises.
Alright, Emerald's got a Sunder inside. Oh, it just blew up. There was a smart Liberator there, tank busting it. So this is the first Liberator I see for Cobalt.
there is a huge reinforcement pool. I mean, the Cobalt forces were pushed off the capture point at Echo Valley substation. It looks like it was over, but then a massive reinforcement wave while all this tech plant stuff's going on at Echo Valley substation. Maxes and infantry coming in from Banana, and now we have fresh resources, fresh grenades for the Cobalt forces with 60 seconds to go, and now they've got maxes and they're holding on to the point. Now the large Cobalt force, they have to hold on against this large Emerald force coming up the staircase with 40 seconds to go. It could go either way.
Cobalt Air Force coming into Echo Valley, fighting the Emerald Air Force overhead.
And there is a large amount of pew-pew coming through the double doors as Emerald tries to group up to push through. They got a gen repaired, but not the SCU, it doesn't seem like. Minute 22, I'm trying to see if Cobalt's still defending the SCU. I'm sorry, if Emerald is. Emerald has a strong defense at the SCU gen. It is slowly being taken out. It depends on how long it takes Cobalt to kill these guys and get that SCU back up to reinforce.
Yeah, Cobalt's got a spawn sunder on the southeast side of the tech plant, but Emerald's got one on the northeast side, so they're both equally far away from the entrance. And Cobalt's trying to do some gal drops on the balcony.
The SCU is
and
back
the SCU is up.
Under 50 seconds. I don't
There
know
is
if that's
contention on the
Cobalt's
capture
got
point.
the balcony. Yeah,
Cobalt's got people on the cap
will
point.
clear it out now.
If ever Emerald was going to get the tech plant, now would have been it. Probably their best
there
chance of the
is
whole
a
game.
Huge Sunder, like foot zergs spilling out back of the Emerald guys, trying desperately to get back onto the point. In
The
fact, it
attacking
looks
force
like
that was Echo Valley substation has obviously redeployed into ISA tech plant, and that's where
Yeah.
their extra numbers have come from.
Except now that the gens are up, the infantry can't get in except by jumping over or being a light assault. It's very difficult to do that with a large force like this.
There's a small NC force just being a nuisance at Freyr Amp Station. Matheson's Triumph is a small force for Vanu slowly taking the base, just ticking it down, being a nuisance until it's responded. Fortunately for Cobalt, Matheson's Triumph, Waterson's Redemption is safe because of the Echo Valley substation attack. That's got a minute and a half before they have to worry about that. And the bulwark is safe, but they've got a huge number of people just literally sitting at the bulwark waiting for the tick down the last 20 seconds.
This is 12 to 24 guys at Matheson's Triumph, and that's great, you saved your tech plant. That's great that you're trying to attack other places, but Matheson's Triumph is just as important of a choke point as Isotech Plant. We don't care necessarily about the size of the facility, it's just that those are two very easily defensible bases, and you certainly don't want to lose Matheson's Triumph to 24 guys. Emerald has redeployed all those tech plant guys into Matheson's Triumph. The population is spiking right now, and this is going to become another difficult fight for Cobalt.
Oh, no kidding.
Cobalt will move their air force into Madison's Triumph now.
So I'm looking at the percentage numbers. It's 43 to Cobalt and 51 to Emerald. Or just those are the point numbers. And the fact is, Cobalt can do this without having to take Echo Valley substation or pushing to Isa Mountain Pass. They can, in theory, if they are able to reclaim the Traverse, reclaim Freyr Network Compound, and then reclaim Freyr Amp Station, they can get this back to a tie. So, I mean, it's doable in the next couple of minutes. Problem is they need to be offensive again. They've got a small window of opportunity from Echo Valley substation to go somewhere else, and the bulwark, it looks like they're actually trying to push in the south. I wouldn't say that Ymir Southern Reach is actually the best base to try and attack, just given the nature of how difficult it is. And the capture point at the tech plant, is that an infiltrator? No, it's actually a medic, so there is a small harassment force. Reinforcements, a squad has come back.
On call. 20 minutes remaining until match end. 20 minutes remaining until match end.
Galaxies from Cobalt dropping on Madison's Triumph right now.
And the problem is that at the tech plant, they haven't waited for a full save. They didn't even leave a full minute. There's one light assault for Cobalt, maybe a couple of stranglers, but a full squad has come in from Emerald to just be a nuisance at the tech plant and trying to elicit a greater response in its save.
I don't know what the Cobalt Air Force is doing still over Asa. Oh, they seem to be coming into Madison's Triumph right now, yes.
I think if there was a time to take that air out of the game and put them as foot soldiers, this is it. If you can get another 24, 48 people that are a platoon that can push a point somewhere, this
They
is the
just
time
dropped a full galaxy on a deployed Emerald Sunday, and they put about 8 C4 in it and tank mines, and they basically blew each other up.
Did the Sunder die though?
The Sunder died, and
That's so
about
sorry.
8 of them.
As long as the Sunder dies.
Exactly. More Sunders up though. Cobalt is pulling his own Sunday spawning to spawn right next to the BNC point towers. The Air Force has got the air, and there are like 5 or 6 galaxies overhead from Cobalt. But they do need to get down there.
tech plant still has a 50-50 population here. I'm trying to see what the defense is that Cobalt has, and maybe it was just air above from Emerald.
But with daylight breaking, the last spawn sunder for Vanu has been killed off. They have a few others, but it doesn't look like they're actually deployed.
No, they won't be able to field an attack from outside anymore. They're gone.
Wherever the 12 to 24 Emerald are at tech plant, I do not see them. I don't see a sunder placed anywhere. Or...
Well, let's just have a look at the map, and you can see
it might be
indicative of what's
the Air
going on.
Force.
The same story elsewhere. There are currently 5 bases under attack, and all of them are basically Cobalt bases under pressure. Isa Tech Plant is still waiting to be saved. Washington's Redemption is under attack. The Bulwark is under attack. Matheson's Triumph was under attack, but it's a long 5 minutes before it'll even come back so they can attack themselves, that being Cobalt. And Freyr Substation is also under attack. And that's just the story of the whole game. Pressure from Emerald.
I said I didn't know where Emerald was. They obviously left a cloaker around. This came down to 1 of 12 of Cobalt. They left, and now Emerald is getting back onto the point. They just gal dropped
Which
on
base?
the balcony. This is the tech plant.
Tech plant, but they have so little forces, and Cobalt's got multiple Sunders inside, although they're being destroyed at the moment.
Yeah, those Sunders
Yeah,
are dying.
Sunders
quick.
are down. But still, the vehicle terminals. No, one of the vehicle terminals is up. So Emerald is hacking it. Yep, it's for Emerald now. They can spawn PPA.
That was a bad.
There we
bad
go.
mistake.
There's the first PPA harasser.
Left too soon. This is what it's coming down to. You know, you have to stay, and it's why having your people on the offensive at so many bases is so powerful for that empire, because Emerald can choose where to attack, and Cobalt has to keep on hopping around, and they left too early. They didn't secure their tech plant, and they left a vehicle terminal.
I don't think this PPA driver has done this before, because he's taking the wrong route. Oh, there he goes.
So,
Okay, they got 2 up.
guys. We don't seem to be hearing Farah on the microphone.
I beg your pardon. Well, I'm not talking right now. I'm just watching the stream. I'm allowing the other 2 to chat.
How long has it been since we've heard Farah, I guess is the question.
Good 2+ minutes.
Alright.
I'm just following the stream. That's all that's happening. Thank you very much, Maelstrom.
No problem.
There we go. 2 PPA harassers are upstairs at the tech plant. They're bringing them to the balcony. The Cobalt seem to have the Air Force outside again. But obviously now that Emerald